I'm Sydney Blue, and I write and perform electronic music, progressive house, electro house, every kind of house music you can think of. I'm from Canada. I'm from Toronto, Ontario, and I've been DJing for 12 years. And I've traveled all over North America and many places in the world doing what I love. And I live in Miami right now. I moved to Miami 2 years ago to take up residency with Mansion Nightclub. I've been DJing there as well, just as an international resident, playing like every few months and stuff over the last few years. And in the same time, I've been based in Miami and traveling all over the world, pretty much.
So you've seen this music mature, kind of going through its phases. Kind of what's different now, and why it's picking up so much momentum as compared to in the '90s, and why is it really coming to a forefront of the mainstream?
I think that's an interesting question. I could go on for an hour about that.
Just 45 minutes.
Yeah. No, honestly, it's really interesting because I think where it was like, into the 90s or late 90s and the whole rave scene back then, it was so new and it was really like fresh and it was a bit dangerous. There was a lot of kids getting in trouble, you know what I mean? And so it was like there was a big backlash because people were freaked out about it, you know what I mean? People didn't want it to come to surface because, drugs were involved and these kids were like, freaking out about it. And I don't know, I think it kind of just got like, raves got shut down and like it slowly but surely kind of went out of style and hip hop got really big. And then it went underground again. And it's really interesting because it's been underground now for the last like 10 years. But I'd have to say that I think that the world just wanted to change. Like I think that eventually it became cool, and that's good for us because now we're spilling onto the surface. It's getting really cheesy, that's the only thing. So there's all these different like varieties of dance music now. You can listen to the really poppy commercial dance music where like literally pop stars are getting like DJs and producers to write their music for them, or you know what I mean, on the other spectrum of it there's like all these underground DJs still sticking to their true form, and they don't want to let go of where house music came from. So it's really interesting. I feel like I balance right in the middle of that because I'm from that underground era, but then at the same time, I really respect the fact that we're getting attention. And I think that, for the whole time that it's been so underground, there's been a lot of people complaining, you know what I mean? Because, when you're underground, you're not making a lot of money because it's underground, you know what I mean? Now it's becoming known to the masses, and I think it's a good thing. I think it's definitely a positive thing. I think it's a little bit overhyped right now. I just hope it levels off into an area where it just becomes like a regular genre of music. I think we took a really big step in 2011. I think 2012 is just continuing on in that direction. And yeah, that's basically my take on it. I think it's a good thing overall.
How would you describe the scene in the United States as compared to your home country of Canada or even abroad in the grand scheme of things?
I think the United States is making it pop music. I think the United States is making it commercial. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that because at the end of the day, the United States is making these big people stars and making like David Guetta like a celebrity, you know what I mean? And I think that that's a good thing because more people, like I said, that would never listen to electronic music are listening to it. I would rather see, you know what I mean, somebody listen to electronic music, no matter what it is, than, you know what I mean, another genre. I'm not going to name it, and just another genre of music, but you know what I mean? Like, I just think it's great, you know what I mean? Maybe it's not, maybe some of the music is too commercial for me, but in the end, I think it's just good for our genre because it's educating people.
How has your style changed? How have you kind of adapted it to playing these bigger venues and maybe kind of having to tweak it a little bit for these broader audiences who've seen it, the more commercialization of it? Have you had to tweak it a lot?
Yeah, not a lot. I think that like I said, I have a balance of it. I used to play more underground than I do now. I played more techie, more like techno sounding for the last like, I think into like 2008 I was playing very electro. 2009 I was playing very techno influenced. See, so like, I mean, everything evolves. I've evolved, you know what I mean? So, and then 2010 I think I was still playing like very techy, and I think 2011 I started playing really progressive, and I think I've had to play more commercial, play more vocals and stuff like that to play for the big mega clubs. But that's okay. I don't mind. Like I write music that I like, and I make music I like, and I play music I like. I mean, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with, you know what I mean, adapting, as long as you're not doing something you don't want to do.
Now, what I really wanted, I was telling Steve, is I really want to get like the female perspective on this genre, because there's not many well-known female DJs coming out, and kind of what's it like being a female DJ in more, I mean, of a male-dominated genre, I guess you could call it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And also, who are some of your favorite female DJs?
Well, I think Nicole Mudabar is like one of my favorites right now. I think she's just kicking ass. I don't know if you've heard of her. She's more like in the techno, tech house world, but I mean, she's charting on Beatport, and she's a proper female producer. I like the Nervo girls. I think they're great energy. Their songs are really good. Their music's good. They're great songwriters, and I just really like them as people. I've actually only met them once, very briefly, but we exchange messages, emails, and stuff like that, and I just think they're really, really nice girls. Who else do I like? I mean, this is the thing with female DJs, like, it's tough because some of them, like, they don't want to get into the studio, and so I have a lot more respect for a female producer, more than anything, because I think that's the only time I find it being difficult for some girls. I think that's why I do well for myself, and I get a lot of respect, because I work really hard at writing music, because that's the number one thing that you got to do to get yourself known out there. That's why I like the girls that I just mentioned, because they kick ass at writing music and producing. Being a woman in a man's world, working with all these guys, I don't really think about it like that, because I just try to work hard and do my thing, and I think of myself as an artist, and I don't really think about myself as a woman.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Honestly, I'm probably one of the guys, I guess, when I think about it, like when I hang out with my guy friends that are producers and DJs and stuff like that. So
Cool.
If you start thinking about stuff like that, it's just not going to get you anywhere.
I feel you.
You know?
What are some projects you're working on now? What are some future projects that people can be looking out for? And where can they find your stuff online and whatnot?
You can find anything you need to know on cityblue.com and my website. And I've got tons of stuff coming out in the next year, pretty much, on so many different labels. I've got several releases on Black Hole Recordings, and those are like bigger room, big vocals, and so there'll probably be lots of radio play for them. I'm doing some techno stuff on Funk Farm, Funk Agenda's record label. I've got my own record label, Blue Music, that's still consistently releasing a lot of my own stuff, as well as tons of other great new artists. I just released an EP yesterday, actually, on this guy named Zenby Recordings. He's got a huge tech house label right now. I released a tech house EP. So I'm all over the map with genres, and so definitely check out all my music on my website and Beatport and all that. Because
are you on Twitter?
I'm on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and everything. Jacking music. Definitely not boring music.
I know your likes and your dislikes, what it takes to make you take me for a drink, but you don't know me.